Good morning and a warm welcome from Ice Sheffield. We are in the third and final day of action here of the playoffs. We have two games for you, starting with this one between the Kingston Diamonds and the Haringey Greyhounds. Both are champions of their respective divisions in the Valerie, so Kingston champions of the North and Invicta, Haringey champions of the South. We're looking at the Diamonds team here then, and some players to look out for. Izzy Oswin is the top scorer with 33 points, 17 goals, 16 assists. Playing on her line is Melissa Veal, who has a lot of experience playing in the top division as well, in the Elite League and in Div 1. She has 30 points and also has scored 17 goals. And they are centred by Carla Clark. She has 29 points. And then on the second line, you've got Eva Reze, also has 29 as well. Erica Proud is somebody to look out for on the blue line. For Haringey, Sophia Kuzaris is excellent in goal. Number 12, Josie Milton, has played at these playoffs before with both Peterborough and for the last 2 years with Cambridge, and knows how to win playoff finals. So there are some names to look out for. There'll be one or two we'll mention during commentary as well. But for the time being, we are ready for puck drop. That top Diamonds line is out there, then centred by Carla Clark with Izzy Oswin on her left and Mel Veal on her right. For the Haringey Greyhounds then, Tegan Walsh centres this line with Clementine Chandler, or Cece, on the right wing. And I think it is McMahon who plays on the left wing on this line. Annie McMahon, indeed. And we are getting ready for the start then. So, down to the final two games. 13 in the book, 2 to go. And this Division 2 Valerie final is underway then. The Diamonds will collect off the boards. It'll be played forward by Do-Good. She's someone who's played for Peterborough in the past, I believe. That one's cleared. Tipped back in by Tegan Walsh, someone who's had a glittering junior career, having played for the London Capitals, which was kind of the forerunner to this Haringey team. They both play out of Alexandra Palace, but got a little bit of a rebranding last season. That one's sent around the boards. Izzy Oswin collects. She scored twice yesterday, including the equalising goal, which forced overtime in the setup in the low slot for Eva Reze to fire on net, but Sophia Kuzaris makes the save. So Courtney Berg, who is then number 1 starting goalie, US born, is unavailable for this week. So the youngster Kuzaris coming in and showing that she is equally as good. And an excellent game yesterday against Whitley Bay. She's one of the former London Capitals as well, as showing that junior production is working, that development. Carried out is number 12, Josie Milton. As I say, she hasn't been playing hockey long in relative terms to some other players, but had a first season post-lockdown with the Peterborough Phantoms. Played at the playoffs that year. Then the last 2 years with the Cambridge Kodiaks, winning promotion last year. And has done so again with this Haringey side. She's a bit of a Division 2 promotion specialist, has played in Division 1 as well with the Kodiaks on a two-way. But she's now 18, so will be going to university. So that could open up a few opportunities to play elsewhere in the country. We're certainly hoping she does opt for Newcastle, so Whitley Bay can have her next season. An excellent player. Here she is now, that burst of speed, gets a shot off and forces a save from Emily Johnson. And you can see why she is so much in demand for next year. That's a good dump in on net by the Haringey Greyhounds then. Back come the Diamonds. They'll chase that one down into a corner. Picked off in the neutral zone. Good back checking from Izzy Oswin. Takes the puck around the covering player there. Carey, number 90. And then Jones couldn't quite hold on Kingston will go back the other way. It's full of energy, this final, as you'd expect. Two really top quality sides. This Diamond side probably got a little bit more top end experience in terms of certainly Melville and Izzy Oswin have had experience in the Elite League and particularly in Div 1 this year. Haringey, in many ways, a much younger side, relying on the bulk of their players coming from their junior team from the last couple of years. But all the same, there's not much between them. And just over 3 minutes played here. Both sides creating a few half chances. It's open. It's not a tentative or quiet affair. Another save from Emily Johnson. She'll cover up. She came through the Diamonds junior system as well. Aged out a couple of years back now. The Tegan Walsh line back out there for the Greyhounds then. So both sides winning their divisions and therefore earning the right for promotion up to Division 1 for next year. Cazares helps it on its way to Oswin. That one's sent around the boards. It's always nice seeing different teams at the playoffs, but of course once you get promoted, there's no guarantee you will get back there the next season playing in the higher level. So we have to make the most of seeing certain teams when we get the chance. That one picked off. Hit on the backhand from Tegan Walsh. She was very much part of that 16s team from 2 years ago, which made the finals, lost to the Chelmsford Rattlesnakes when they won their first championship. The team led by Izzy Zizhinska and Connie Feidler, and set their winning cycle off. They're still going to be strong next season. Chelmsford, well, don't bet against them making it to a playoffs for 5 straight years. They're a great bunch as well. It was heartbreaking to see them miss out at the end, but obviously Whitley Bay, the team they had, they deserved the championship at some point, and in a way it's quite fair that one team won it last year and then the other team got to win it this year, so it was nicely evened out. We're going to face off then just outside the Haringey zone, taken by Milton, and she's got Neve Walsh on her line this time. Mixed it up a little bit since yesterday. It was a close battle. Both teams had to work hard to get here. It was a 3-2 win for Haringey against Whitley. Much closer game than perhaps, well, having spoke to both teams, both thought it would be a closer game than they were expecting. Haringey with a lot of respect for Whitley, thinking that they would give him a tough game, and indeed they did, as Milton forces a save from Johnson. Comes back into a low slot. They're going to push it home. I mean, no, kick save. Emily Johnson did well to see that one through traffic, as that one's carried out by Reze. Over on the far side is Follow Southwood. Back to centre ice and Neve Walsh. Of course, Diamonds needing penalty shots to separate themselves from the Slough Sirens. Not quite a last minute, but certainly a late equaliser from Izzy Oswin, forcing overtime. We've had 2 games this weekend go the distance. Will we get a third? Well, there's 2 opportunities even in this game, or one coming up next, which will see an all-Northern affair between the Caledonia Steel Queens and the Manchester Storm. Over on the far side, that one's cleared. Diamonds gather behind the back of the net. Sent out from a deep position. Oswin will chase this one down. But Standish gets there first. She's got the opportunity to clear. That one was rink wide, gathered in the neutral zone. Carried in by the Greyhounds. Back come the Diamonds, although they had a couple of players in offside position, both Reze and Oswin coming back on side, so I had to dump it in and leave it. Greyhounds looking to come back the other way. It is open, it is end-to-end stuff for right now. Yami shoots, number 16. It's a full name, Yami Mankanda Corliss, but you'll forgive me if I just refer to her in her first name as Yami. That one's come loose. It was 3 Diamonds players back there, but they had to be aware that the Greyhounds could have got a break on. And certainly Jones was looking to break in there. Jay Jones, she was the top scorer for the Greyhounds last season when they ran away with the Elizabeth Conference. Now in the Valerie, but they won't be in Division 2 at all next year. They'll be in Division 1, replacing their London rivals, the Streatham Storm. Carried in by Oswin, who's not been off the ice for very long. Carla Clark battling well. She's the experienced head between the 2 youngsters of Oswin and Veal. Melissa Veal has been part of the Diamonds for a few years now. She's still young, but she's got a lot of experience under her belt. Big wind-up slap shot comes in. Oh, it's going to roll over, but luckily for Johnson, who did ever so well to stop that fiercely driven effort, she had Duguid coming over to help her out and just sweep that one clear before a Greyhounds player could get there. Tegan Walsh clears, goes into the zone. It'll be gathered by Amber Park. Collects off the boards, banks it around. Reze touches it out the zone, and then they'll carry it out further. Talking of experienced leaders, Lois Tomlinson's the captain. She leads this line, this second line, with Jess Hackin and Eva Reze on her flanks. It's a solid 3 lines that the Diamonds roll out on this team. They're 4-3 elite. But it's perhaps is a stronger team than they had last season. Essentially, each of the Diamonds teams got relegated. Of course, once the elite team was relegated, that allowed them to have 2 teams in Division 1, and that wasn't going to work. So they shuffled everyone down a league just so that they could have enough to have players on 2-way contracts. There was no point trying to run 2 separate Diamonds clubs in Division 1. For the likes of Izzy Oswin, it benefits her playing in Div 2 and Div 1. Over on the far side, cleared by the Greyhounds, and Standish. They'll do good for the Diamonds. Picked off on the far side by Miri Pomeranz, one of the younger players on the team. Nice drop pass from Southwood. Standish receives. Forward, tipped on. And Tegan Walsh trying to get that one home. Now Pomeranz. This second line for the Greyhounds doing some good work here. That one will be cleared by Rowlands. Nicely defended by Southwood. Over onto this near side. And Stickter. Good to see her getting a shift out there. For anyone who's been following women's hockey this season, Emma does an excellent podcast. I do urge you to check it out. There are links to it on Ice Maidens. And she's from my neck of the woods, so always good to support somebody from my hometown of Northampton. Dumped in just behind the back of the net. Josie Milton, who works it back for Stickter. Clark gets a stick to it, but it's Milton controlling the tempo on this line here. Such an intelligent player, sends one in. That's a low glove save by Emily Johnson. So many good players on this team. It's such an enjoyment to watch, really. It has the makings of a great final, really. 2 evenly matched sides. Back underway then. And for another save forced out of Emily Johnson. I mentioned a few times already this weekend, but a couple of seasons ago when she made her senior debut with Caledonia Steel Queens, who ran away with that what is now essentially Div 2 North Valerie. They were on their way to promotion. but they put 20 goals past Emily in that game, which, okay, on the face of it doesn't sound good, but when you consider she also made 100 saves as well, that will tell you a lot of just how well she played. So, yes, over 100 saves in a 120 shot game is incredible. And that one floats into the glove. She'll hold on. That will allow both sides to make a full line change here. Tegan Walsh with a draw for the Greyhounds against Carla Clark. So both sides top lines out there right now. Diamonds just about poke that one clear. Oswin will carry in. Remember, she is this offensive leader on this team, really. Her development's been incredible over the last 3 years or so. Such an exciting talent to watch. McMahon over on that far side for a Greyhound. She will put a bit of pressure on Erica Proud, who is the exciting young defensive talent the Diamonds have coming through their system. Oswin couldn't quite carry in. Now it will be dumped in by Veal, who, as I said before, it has a few more years experience on her than Oswin. The two of them work so well together, and the Diamonds continuing to produce such good talents. Wouldn't be the same playoffs without the Diamonds being here, and they've got two of their sides here this year. That one shooting just wide. Shot on net, turned aside, and that one will be blasted clear by Tegan Walsh. That's going to be icing though. 7 minutes left in what's been a relatively fast-paced opening period. So this is the biggest playoff finals weekend we've had so far. 15 games, 13 in the books. Final 2 today, the 2 Div 2 playoff finals. This is the Valerie one and the Elizabeth one coming up next. An all-Northern affair. Last year, kick set was a toe save, in fact, from Cazares. Last year it was a bit of concern with the Southern dominance, really, in both Div 1 and Div 2, but it's been an even split this year. Div 1 and this Valerie one has been, in Div 2, has been an even split of North v South, and of course in the Elizabeth, Div 2 Elizabeth final, that's an all-Northern affair. So nice to see that the North's caught up a little bit, and it's much more evenly balanced. But who's to say it won't swing back the other way next year? Massive changes planned, I think, for the divisional realignment. We'll wait to hear the announcements over the summer just to see how the league will take shape as we get a replay on that last chance then. Shot just inside the circle. Yeah, the toe save did well to get to that one. Just getting caught under the feet of Josie Milton, but did enough to help it on its way before Sonia Bryce could pick that one off. Milton squeezing between the boards and Katie Payton. Now Zoe Marples gets a return pass from Rowlands and will chase it into the corner. She'll just miss out to a Greyhounds player, and they were looking to get the break on there, but it was dumped or tipped back in rather by Erica Proud. Now they'll go again with the London club from Miri Pomeranz. They said before they're based in North London at Ali Pali, Alexandra Palace, and they get some good crowds down there. They charge an entrance fee as well, and it's good quality hockey, as you can see here. So if you do live in the London area, haven't particularly watched them before, why not do so next season? Plenty of exciting players to watch. It's a well-run club, and it's exciting that we have hockey in North London. Lee Valley, of course, joining the league last year as well alongside the Greyhounds, and they've made good strides forward this year as well. But a nice alternative. Obviously you have Streatham in the south, and for so long that was the only senior club in London, but the two north of the Thames now making names and making names for themselves, and that's good. Oh, that's in. That's the first goal, and it's Mel Veal who fires home from an acute angle. That top line getting the job done for the Diamonds. I think it was the pass from Carla Clark to pick her out, And Melissa Veal then with a smile as wide as the Humber, giving the Diamonds a lead. Here we go, Clark. Her shot on net gets caught up under the Greyhounds defender. It was Worth caught between her feet, and it just fell perfectly to Veal, who was closing in on net. She was able to fire home. And it's the Diamonds who take the lead. Of course, they also took the lead yesterday. It didn't last all that long, of course, because the Sirens came back into it. And we are back underway. Whistle on the play. Looks like they've mixed this lineup a bit here, the Greyhounds, because they've got Jay Jones centering, Yami on the right wing, and then Johnson, who's Jenna Johnson, who's a Canadian-born player who used to play for Streatham, on the left. So, moving in the changes a little bit. Standish comes across, puts the challenge in, separates player from puck. Mel Veal getting confirmation of that goal score, as the goal scorer, I should say. That one's through and will be picked off by Erica Proud, though. Diamonds looking confident now with that goal lead. Greyhounds will control, look to get the response. Jay Jones is calling for it. Flo Southwood trying to pick her out, but it's defended well by Proud, who's everywhere at the moment in that defensive third in her own zone. Proud again wins the puck back and clears. Standish collects on her own blue line, almost picked off by Eva Reze, and then Yami will dump in. Over on the far side, it's Katie Payton who will send up the boards. And that'll be dumped in for an icing call, and we were going to face off then inside the Diamond zone. That one dumped in on net, turned aside. Erica Proud will clear. Tegan Walsh almost picked off in the low slot, though, by the Greyhounds, and Clementine Chandler. But this Diamonds defence strong right now, getting it away. It was a combination of Dogood and Proud, I think, that cleared the danger inside the final 3 minutes of the opening period. Then it's a 1-0 lead to the Diamonds. It is those who are, or they that are sparkling, and the Greyhounds looking for a response. Plenty of time to go, though. It will be a close contest, I'm sure. Someone's lost a glove. One's dumped in and gathered by the Greyhounds once more. And Carey, number 90, on the defence. Heavy collision into the boards there. Tegan Walsh collects on her own blue line, tried to set McMahon away, but it's picked off by the Diamonds. And Veal, the goal scorer, doing a good job on this near side. She'd switch flanks with Oswin just for that time being. She'll go back to her natural right wing position now. And it's got Carla Clark there, but shoots Veal now, sends that one across, rink wide. Oswin will collect. Oswin sends it across, almost picked off there by Reese. Oswin closes down. Veal into the corner. Oswin once more. Nicely defended in the corner by Josie Milton, who's again having a really strong game for the Greyhounds. So into the final minute then of this opening period, and Greyhounds having to do a bit of defending here, very much with the Diamonds right now since they got that goal. It has given them that extra bit of confidence. Lois Tomlinson sends it around into the opposite corner. There's all sort of permutations about what could happen to this team next year. Obviously we know Haringey will be promoted and Streatham will come down between the southern side of the divisions, but in the north there's rumours there might be expansion in the elite, which would allow the Kingston Diamonds up. Onto a backhand. It was a nice move there by Reze as she slallomed away towards goal. Well, the not this Diamonds team, the one we saw in the Div 1 final last night rather, they could get promoted back to the Elite League, in which case that would allow this particular Diamond side to be promoted back into Division 1, which is where they were last year, of course. So it might be that they all shuffle up a division. Sonia Bryce gets a poke check in just as the buzzer goes. There won't be an ice cut this time. We'll just have a 5-minute break, so please don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you very shortly. Welcome back to Ice Sheffield then for the start of the second period. It's a 1-0 lead to the Diamonds. Erica Proud will gather as the Greyhounds looking to get themselves back into this one. Flo Southwood couldn't quite stem the advance of Carla Clark on this near side. It's been a remarkable journey for the Greyhounds though, with just their second year as a senior club. Back-to-back promotions. And up in Division 1, which will be an exciting challenge for them next year. Clementine Chandler. Nice hands from Hurd on this left wing side. Known as Cece. Understandably so. Southwood battling along the boards. Eva Reze comes out with it though for the Diamonds. Then tipped on by McMahon. Southwood, who's put in the minutes on the blue line this weekend. Looks like one of the top defenders for the Greyhounds. She's made a really good name for herself, I think, in the last couple of years. Reze switching the play out wide. Be controlled by Jess Hacking. Hacking again, traps it with the blades. And then Tegan Walsh couldn't quite gather, but Greyhounds will play out from the back. Miri Pomeranz will chase this one down. Sonia Bryce gets there first, blasts it off the board. Reze will now release it, but fired back in by Walsh. Or Neve Walsh, I should say, because there's two of them on here. Worth will check this one back and gather behind the back of the net. Sonia Bryce fires, that goes into the corner. Carla Clark traps it with the stick. And then Walsh towards Pomeranz. Leave Walsh again. Clark to give chase. Worth will go with her. Gets the poke check in, but it's a nice cutback from Clark to pick out Veal. She fires on net, turned aside by Sofia Cazares. Nice hands from Niamh Walsh. Gets that effort on net and forces Emily Johnson to sweep it away. Allows the Greyhounds to get set in the offensive zone. Over on this near side. Pomeranz. And then now Milton. Milton again follows it in. It's Veal who will control up on this near side. Now Dogood. The battle continues behind the end boards. It will come around into a corner, not quite towards Veal, so it allows Haringey to control a little bit in that corner. And Jenna Johnson, the Canadian-born player, so she has experienced playoff finals weekends with Streatham previously. That one comes round for Southwood. She gets there with a bit of time to spare, ahead of the on-rushing Eva Reze. Now that one goes deep into the zone, picked out the corner. Diamonds looking to start something here, but that will be an icing call, so they'll not get it done there, but almost, well, just over 4 minutes played in fact in this second period. It's still even. It's a Diamonds with that slender 1-0 lead, but there is nothing separating the sides in terms of chances or as a contest. Tegan Walsh will take this draw. Annie McMahon just behind her. Diamonds just about, well, I thought they had a control of it, but Southwood helps it on its way, and then that one's floated in from up along the boards by Tegan Walsh. That one's away, gathered by Hacking. Turned aside into a corner by Cazares. We said yesterday in that semi-final win over at Whitley Bay, she was very intelligent the way she turned those chances aside. Always put the rebounds out of harm's way so no opponent could capitalise on it. As that was for a delayed offside, just in case the Diamonds player touched it while the official had her arm up there. Controlled on the left wing side. Gathered nicely by Chandler. She'll lead the charge here, but outnumbered in the end. Diamonds had about 3 players back to the 1 Greyhound player. Worth will carry in, but Annie McMahon was coming back from an offside position, so we get the whistle. That will allow both sides to make some changes though. Josie Milton to take the draw for the Greyhounds. Worth tips it on. We'll get it again at centre red. Carey, or Trodek rather, out wide. But, yeah, we've definitely changed their second and third lines around here. Haringey. Stichter's getting a regular shift alongside Josie Milton and Miri Pomeranz now, which is good to see. So we have mixed things up a little bit since last night's game, or yesterday afternoon's game, I should say. Or was it yesterday morning? Honestly, it's been such a long weekend, you lose track where you are. We didn't get finished up here till 20 past midnight, and then we're back in the rink 9 hours later, high sticks. So that will be the first penalty then. Not much in the way of stoppages in that opening period at all. Oh no, elbows are saying, Amy Campbell saying, the senior referee here. And it's going to be on Trodeck. So the Diamonds go on the power play then. It's going to be Lois Tomlinson to take the face off. She's just having a bit of a word with Katie Payton there, just telling her where she wants to set up. One would assume if she wins it, she'll want to play it back towards her. Annie McMahon skips round one challenge, trying to get it away. Diamonds though, just about keeping it inside the zone, but it falls nicely. It bounces off her feet there of Hacking. And McMahon, oh, it's a vital poke check there. Great defensive play from the Diamonds. And Katie Payton, oh no, she's earned a penalty for that. It looked we'll see it again, it looked a good challenge, but she's gone to the box, so that will negate that penalty. We go all, it was stick on stick for me, that, but that has been the call. We go all game without a penalty, and then so often you see that a penalty be called, and then the other team will give another one up, and it evens itself up straight away. Bounced off the boards. Over in the corner, Chandler will control. Clark put it under pressure, and indeed it is the veteran centre who will force a turnover. Southwood trying to keep the momentum going. Oswin out there, able to change it a little bit now from being on the power play, but they've changed. It's been able to bring a couple more goal scorers on rather than needing to have a penalty killing unit out there, so it can be a little bit more offensive because essentially it is at even strength at 4-on-4. That one cleared, comes off the back of Clark's skates, I think, kept it inside temporarily, but now the Greyhounds looking to break out. Controlled over on the far boards. Diamond's doing a good job here. Controlled by Oswin. Nice hands from her to Clark. Well cut out though, and well defended by Flo Southwood. Slaloms away through and then just fans on it at the high slot. Allows the Diamonds and Veal to get that one away. She's mentioned before this weekend, but she's half Finnish on her mother's side. We know how good of a hockey playing nation they are. And that one just shoots over the goal frame. Erica Prowl dumps it in. Flo Southwood will follow it into the corner. Sent back the other way. Carey will gather. Haringey now on the power play then for the next 18 seconds. Jay Jones winds up a big slap shot. Oswin did ever so well to get a stick to that. She might have just got a piece of that puck as she released it. Over on the far side. It's the Diamonds who were controlling, but then quickly Greyhounds forced a turnover. Now the Diamonds back to full strength, so we're back to 5-on-5 then. Controlled by Carey. Pomeranz can't control, but Oswin will. Now Pomeranz will steal it back as Oswin heads to the bench. Tomlinson almost won it back for Diamonds. Now Clark. She'll go towards goal, but that was a really good challenge by Zoe Standish, who dived in there with the poke check. That one through the blue paint and into the corner. Erica Proud cuts back in from the boards, sent it through the crease, but over onto that far side. That was the Evelyn Strong who sent us the third line normally. They've mixed it up a little bit because Oswin went back to a bench, but the two line mates are still out there. So the Diamonds line's a little bit out of sync right now. Sonia Bryce finds Melissa Veal in acres of space here. Lovely pass forward for Carla Clark. Greyhounds getting caught in a change, and Carla Clark punishes them. It was that stretch pass out of the defensive zone by Sonia Bryce to Melissa Veal. She had all the time in the world to set up her line mate and centre, Carla Clark, and with the Greyhounds rushing to get back on that long defensive change, Clark lets fly, and it's 2-0 Diamonds. We see it here. Veal with the pass, cushions it into the path of Clark. Look, all the time in the world, and she opts to go short side above, top shelf above the glove. And even though there was quite a fair bit of net on show on the blocker side, but Carla Clark using that experience to good effect, and the Diamonds double up as we pass the midpoint of the game. Greyhounds need a response, and quick. Johnson couldn't quite gather in. Sonia Bryce will continue and advance forward, but eventually got outnumbered. That one comes out the zone. Jay Jones now looking to split the D. She's got some support to her left. He'll cut back onto her backhand. Gets in towards goal, but again, I think it's Katie Payton who got that challenge in, and then Emily Johnson will cover up. But that's a good response by the Greyhounds, forcing the offensive zone face-off. Both teams will change up. We'll see that replay now. Payton just wrapping her stick around the puck, not allowing the shot to come in. There was a shot in the end, but by that point Johnson had that near post covered off. Please let that be the last time we hear that song this weekend. That one for the Diamonds, and Rowlands collects and then finds Strong on the centre red line. Then Strong dumps in behind the back of the net. Collected by the Greyhounds. And Chandler. Erica Prowl sticking with her. Good battle between these two throughout this game already. She was laying prone there, Chandler. Still got the presence of mind to play the puck. But Diamonds will now get it away. They'll look to break on. Zoe Marple's on the far side. Well defended, though, by Carey. Up to Annie McMahon. Across comes Cody Dogood. Still with McMahon, though. Now Oswin helping out. Her defensive side of the game improves every time I see her, to be honest. We know how good she is offensively, the numbers she puts up and the pace that she has, but that back check-in has come on leaps and bounds, and she's becoming even more of a complete player. Covered nicely in the neutral zone. Chandler carries in. Miri Pomeranz. Heavy touch to get it into space, but Clark can't quite force it off her, but Payton will on the far side. Battle continues in the corner. That one stopped on the doorstep. Melissa Veal will clear it away. Payton. Pomeranz. On the far side, Josie Milton shoots through the crease. I think Johnson got a piece of it. Pomeranz will leave, but it had a little bit too much mustard on it to be controlled by Worth on that far side. Haringey looking to build again. Carried back inside. They're saying offside. I'm not sure who was offside in that instance, but I think the only other player who was close to his own was Milton, but I didn't think she was ahead of the puck handler. We shall see perhaps on the replay, but that's what the officials have called. Haringey looking for a response here inside the final 7 minutes of the middle period. Jay Jones against Lois Tomlinson. Eva Reze comes out with it. Forward towards Jess Hacking. Ushered back towards Sophie Cazares. Now on this near side, it's Johnson looking to break away. On the far side is Yami. Good defensive play though by Park. Collected inside the face-off circle. Diamonds desperately trying to get it away, but this is some good sustained time in the offensive zone by the Greyhounds. They've not really had a great deal of scoring opportunities. Diamonds haven't allowed them that, but their time in the offensive zone has certainly increased, and they've had to do so to try and get themselves back into this game. It's a 2-goal game now, and in close contests like this, that's a decent lead at this stage. Haringey need a response. Johnson will find Worth, who's up from the back. Pinching in from the blue line. Shot comes in. Toe save there by Johnson. And another one. That one pops off. Double save by Emily Johnson. Restoring her side's 2-goal lead there. That was a good opportunity for Haringey to get one back. Tomlinson looking to get the outlet pass, but couldn't quite squeeze along the boards. Haringey had it covered off. Veal will lay that one off to Reze. Now gathered by Jay Jones. She will motor forward. She's got Chandler on her outside. She won't need her. Jones goes forehand to back and gets a shot off, but again, the save from Johnson. It hit her high up in the chest, I think. Just needed to get some part of her body on it, and she managed to do so. Chandler tried the centering pass. It's picked off by the Diamonds and Carla Clark. Chandler will get a second go at it. Nice pass to the low slot. McMahon couldn't connect. Bit of pushing and shoving going on between her and Park. The intensity is ramping up here. Haringey need to get one back. I think obviously they would love one before the end of this period. And as a neutral, you'd like to see it a 1-goal game and make it a bit more interesting. As McMahon centering pass, Payton does a great job of getting that stick on it. The Diamonds are defending so well right now. It was quite a titanic battle in the north this year between them and the Whitley Bay Beacons. In the end, the Diamonds did win the league by 3 points, mainly due to the fact of the head-to-head meetings. Whitley took the first one in Hull. Then they drew a game in Whitley before Diamonds took the final 2 meetings. And those 2 wins that they took over Whitley essentially was what saw them win, or at least one of them was enough to see them win the title. If they'd have lost one of those games they won, Whitley would have won the title. That's how close it was. The proverbial 4-pointer. Shot comes in, turned aside by Johnson. Haringey had it a little bit more their own way in the south. They were the cream of the crop, as it were, and really close battle with about 3 teams battling for that second spot, which the Slough Sirens ultimately came away with. But Haringey, undisputed top team in that division. Pomeranz is open. Nice poke check from Veal. She'll collect off the board. Steals inside. Shot on net. It's a difficult one for Cazares to deal with. She hit it high and she had to get up on her tiptoes, I think, to grab that one in. But we'll see the replay here. This was the chance. Lovely setup there. Shot comes in. That's the toe save. It comes back out. And then shot on the backhand that pops up off the blocker. Yeah, great work by Emily Johnson. Carla Clark with a draw against Josie Milton. Milton again. That's the pass for Annie McMahon to chase. Oswin goes with her. She's the first one back there, the top scorer for the Diamonds, but she's going to get called on a penalty here. Greyhounds player did go down. Just thought it was a coming together, nothing more than that. But is he going to the box then? So this is an ideal opportunity for the Greyhounds to get themselves back into this. They've only had a little bit of power play before, when both sides had those overlapping minor penalties. So 2:33 to go in the period. 2-minute player advantage. Milton works it back to a point. Across to Southwood, who fires. It's deflected away by Erica Proud, who will then chase it into a corner. Can't quite get the distance on the clearance. Southwood carrying it along the boards. Still with Flo Southwood, looking for the pass towards the slot. She'll do so. It's a great save, Milton. So many times we've seen her find the net from there, but Johnson getting across her crease fantastically well. And that was an outstanding save. Worth. She will gather. Milton. That will release Clementine Chandler. Drop pass to Annie McMahon. This line coming together nicely. Comes through. Oh, inches wide of the post. That was almost the goal. Johnson again pokes it away. She's playing outstanding right now, Emily Johnson. That one comes back to the point. Fired back in. Gathered by Carla Clark. Will blast it clear down the ice. 1:25 left in the period. 50 seconds left on this Haringey power play. Oh, she's blown a tyre behind the back of the net, Southwood. Not the worst place to lose the puck, but not the best either, because the Diamonds have put it home. It seemed like they'd recovered there. The Greyhounds, they had bodies back. But the quick thinking and predatory instincts of Melissa Veal on hand to put that one home. And it could so easily have been 2-1 at one end, and then just like that it's 3-0. The slip by Southwood behind the net. Veal thought about the wraparound, needed a touch, and then able just to slot home from close range with pressure coming in. They had bodies back there, Haringey. I thought they were just about saw off a chance, but no. Veal has her second goal of this final, and that gives her side a 3-0 lead. And, well, we know it's not all over from this point. We know the Div 1 Diamond side had a 3-0 lead against the Swindon Top Cats, and that evaporated into a 6-3 defeat. It's not over yet. There is time, there is hope for this Haringey side, but they need to convert on this power play. Shot comes through from Carey. That will be gathered up by Johnson, who has looked outstanding between the pipes this weekend for the Diamonds, as she so often does. And she is, sporting a very colourful lime green goalie mask. One of the real top young goalies in the country. Going down in that butterfly position. Diamonds will blast it clear with less than 10 seconds left on the Greyhounds power play. Cazares leaves it for Carey. They are back to full strength now. Izzy Oswin. She's just run into one of her own teammates there. Carla Clark. They've clattered into each other. I was going to say, even when she's not on the ice and can't directly help her team, she's somehow helping her team score goals. She was in the box and they've scored short-handed. Controlled behind the back of the net by Payton. Back to Tomlinson on this near side. That will release Izzy Oswin, but that will do it for the period then, and one in which the Diamonds have increased their lead. So I don't think there is an ice cut. I'm not entirely sure. We have the clock running down from 5 minutes, so doesn't seem to be any activity going on behind the back of the goal. So yes, I think it's a 5-minute break here, so we'll be back with you shortly. Please don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Ice Sheffield then. for what is the third and final period of this final between the Haringey Greyhounds and the Kingston Diamonds. So a 3-0 lead to the Diamonds. And they are very much in control right now, but Greyhounds looking for that response. It was a strong middle period from them. They had a lot of possession in the offensive zone, just couldn't find a way past Diamonds goalie Emily Johnson. And now the break on, Carla Clark getting in behind the Greyhounds defence. Back to the point, fired in just wide of the target. It's a fresh sheet of ice now, of course, between the second and third. We had the ice cut. It was a bit of a delayed announcement that we were getting an ice cut. I don't think it was scheduled, but then it was offered to the teams and they both wanted one, so it wasn't until about 4 minutes had elapsed on that initial break that we found out. So sorry folks, it was a little bit of a longer break for you as Tomlinson lets fly from distance and Sofia Cazares will cover up. Face-off will stay inside the zone, inside the Greyhound zone I should say, but it will allow both teams to make a couple of personnel changes. Lois Tomlinson will take the draw for the Diamonds. Poke check coming in from Erica Proud, and that will be covered up by Cazares. So we'll get another face-off in the zone then. Tomlinson to go again. That one comes through and out the zone, and it will be gathered by Cody Duguid. Flicked on by Jess Hacking. Mary Pomeranz for the Greyhounds controls up in front of a bench. We're going to get a whistle low. I'm assuming it was for offside. Wasn't entirely clear, because it was the Greyhounds in possession of the puck, but it's come out the zone, so I'd imagine that's what it was. Greyhounds win the draw. Can't hold on to possession though, and it's Katie Payton who will bank it off at Greyhound skating into the zone. Greyhounds regain possession though, but they're being forced back here. Clark can't control on the far side. Veal can't either. And then finally it's tipped in. I think it's Sonia Bryce on that far side. Didn't quite see the numbers. Now Josie Milton, who's going to control. Got quite a unique skating style. Working hard to get her team back into this game. She's worked as hard as anyone, in fact. Nice pass forward, picked off by Payton on the blue line. It's banked back in by Pomeranz, and then it's cleared on the far side. Clark will dump in. That'll be an icing call on the Diamonds end, so they won't be able to make that change. So we get a face-off in the Diamond zone, and Diamonds had been on the front foot there for much of that opening of the third period. It was the first sort of 2.5 minutes of it. So it's going to allow the Greyhounds to start to build something themselves. Tegan Walsh will take this draw. She's got Clementine Chandler just behind her, opts to pick out Annie McMahon on the other side, and it was a very quick pass across to Chandler, and then the puck goes into a corner. Still the puck battles, and it will be Clark who comes out with it. Rings it around the boards, out of a reach of McMahon. It's going to be Flo Southwood who steps up to try and keep it in. She'll keep the momentum going, and then a shot comes in from distance off the end boards. McMahon can't gather. Southwood comes back across. Diamonds looking to break out here with Izzy Oswin. She'll lead this rush into the offensive zone, goes past the last defender. She's one-on-one, she finishes and scores. Izzy Oswin with a fantastic goal. She's gone just about coast to coast there, and it's 4-0 Diamonds, and Kingston's top scorer does it again. Izzy Oswin, what a fantastic goal. We'll see the replay here, starting it from the blue line. Cuts inside Southwood, which is no mean feat, back onto her forehand, and just curls it into the bottom corner, glove side. What a well-taken goal by a tremendous young player. Pomeranz forward to Josie Milton. They are desperate to get themselves back into this one. Haringey. Sent across to the far side. Worth collects off the boards and sends it around once more. Milton. Shot comes in, it's gone in, they've got their goal. Greyhounds get one back. The perfect response. And it was Josie Milton. And if it was going to be anyone, it was most likely going to be her. Great goal scorer. She very similar player to Izzy Oswin, and the pair of them have scored about a minute apart. Just flicks it home. Fantastic finish. And Emily Johnson, who's looked unbeatable throughout this game, well, that time she couldn't do anything about it. Great finish with the predatory nature of Josie Milton. And now the Greyhounds do have their goal. Maybe they can build something from here. Maybe that fourth goal was what was needed to just not so much wake them up, but just force a further reaction from them. And with 16 minutes to go, there's still plenty of time for Haringey to get themselves back into this one. Milton controls, uses her foot to get it onto the blade of her stick, trying to set it up in the slot, but just outnumbered there. I think they had about 3 or 4 diamond shirts around her. Nobody up there with her. And that's going to be called icing on the diamond. So Haringey, maybe the momentum is swinging their way right now as we focus in on Zoe Marples, another one of the graduates from their under-16s system in recent years. So back we go into the diamond zone. Draw from Tegan Walsh. Fanned clearance. Melville all set. Evelyn Strong away. And battle continues up on the far side. And Trodek. That's a releasing pass, but it'll be gathered by Dugood. That will go back into his zone, and yeah, it'll be offside. So face-off comes out the Greyhound zone. But we have an interesting start to this third period. Both sides swapping goals. On the far side. Southwood will release Chandler. They are getting closer. If they could get a second goal back now, it would make things very interesting. Back to Carey. Her shot's charged down. Chandler will dig it out the corner. Centering pass picked off though by the Diamonds defender Erica Proud. Rings it around the boards. It will be kept in on the far side. Oh, Tegan Walsh and Worth just colliding with each other. Eleanor Worth. Diamonds will get it out the zone. Clark tips it away. Chandler works it back deep into her zone. Stretch pass. It evades a Diamonds and a Greyhounds player. That will allow Annie McMahon to chase this one down. Gets in behind Duga. Takes it around the back of the net. Needs a passing option. Centres it through, but comes off the skates of Proud. And the Diamonds get it away. Back off the boards. Proud comes across. Back over on that far side. It's picked off. And then Melissa Veal sends it rink wide. It will come off the boards to Izzy Oswin, who scored that fourth goal. That exciting finish just before that breakaway. Clark, her shot is blocked. Greyhounds was desperately trying to get out. It's good work by Jay Jones, though. Across comes Sonia Bryce. Can't keep it in. had too much speed on it, but just trying to prevent it entering their own zone. And still, the Diamonds trying to keep the momentum going for them. Puck had just crossed the line, which is why the official had her arm up, I think, just saying that it would have been offside if she'd touched it. Dumped back in. Carey will leave it. Milton's back on the ice for the Greyhounds. And it's her who's on the puck right now, cutting through the centre ice and accidentally brought down. No penalty though. It was just the merest connection and collision. Eva Reze over on that far side. Dumped into a corner. Gathered in by Jay Jones, rides a couple of challenges and then advances up along the boards, but Carla Clark's the one who gets back there. Milton steals it back. Then Erica Proud will go into a corner, but Pomeranz keeps her honest and it's forced back to the point. Now the Diamonds will look to break out themselves. It's with Eva Reze, gets a shot off and scores, and it's 5-1. And that's coming at an important time, just when the Greyhounds were looking like they were in the ascendancy. And once she got in behind and went towards goal, you always backed her to score. Collected on the blue line once again. They love to drive forward and at the heart of teams. Hits it around the last defender and just cuts in and slots it home. Was it 5-hole? Looked like it was between the pads. But what a finish. It's always exciting when you see teams either on a breakaway or a fast skating player who cuts inside the last defender like that. We've seen some excellent goals today. Puck sent across. That's a lofted pass that will be cleared. Izzy Oswin will gather that one in the corner. Nice setup to Hacking, who scores, and they make it 6. It was a pass from Izzy Oswin from Gretzky's office. It was a lovely little cutback, and that one's just fired home, and that's 6-1. The Diamonds looking to put this one away now. It's harsh on Haringey because it's not a 6-1 game by any means, but the Diamonds are clinical in taking their chances. We've got a timeout called by the Greyhounds. I'm not entirely surprised by that, if I'm honest, with 11:32 to go. But, what a last couple of minutes, really. It could so easily have been a 2-goal game, and now suddenly it's opened up to a 6-1 lead for the Diamonds. It's a long way back for Haringey from here. Diamonds have just grown in confidence over these last few weeks. So it's been a close battle between them and Whitley Bay all season, but we've got some players who are full of confidence right now, and they're demonstrating that today. So, timeout's finished. That was called right at the end of that goal, so we're going to restart at centre ice. Katie Payton will leave that one for Sonia Bryce to gather in the corner. 11:22 to go then. It isn't impossible. I've seen goals scored but to tie this up before, but it's looking unlikely. That's a good save by Cazares. It's a long way back for the Greyhounds right now. And like I say, no way is it a 6-1 game. They've played their part in this final. It's been close throughout. It's just those last couple of minutes, it's got away from them. Diamonds clinical there, taking their chance. And of course, Greyhounds had to start committing more players forward. They had to push, and it's always going to leave you vulnerable at the back for a breakaway to be caught out like that. And essentially that's what's happened. 2 quick goals coming the way they did. Shot comes in, well dealt with by Johnson. Erica Proud will clear over the boards. It keeps inside the zone, so they'll go again. This time Diamonds get it out the way. Official having to dance away to try and get out the way of that puck. Controlled at centre red. Comes back to Pomeranz. Cuts across the high slot, fires. It wasn't a bad effort. It was just curling towards the top corner and then plucked out of mid-air by Emily Johnson inside the final 10 minutes of this game, and we'll get a face-off inside the Diamond zone. Get a replay here, or we were, as we get ready for the restart on that far side. Nice push out there by the Diamonds. They'll carry it over the line. Forces the Greyhounds to retreat. Trodek. And then puck getting caught along the boards. Now the Greyhounds have a chance to break out here. Chased down into the corner. Fan clearance by Trodek.
Goal number 6,
Clark on the far side. Jess Hacking then gets the credit for that goal. Izzy Oswin dumps it in. It'll be Carla Clark who will chase. Worth will deal with it in the corner. Yami. Across. It's kept inside by Melissa Veal. Now Oswin closing in. Doing a good job here, Diamonds, of just on this forecheck pushing the Greyhounds back into their zone. They can't quite clear right now. Mark of a good side who can do that and force their opponents back, pin them back as Peyton cuts down this left wing side. Nice check from poke check from Eleanor Worth, keeps the puck in the corner. Bit of support coming in for both sides there. Gathered. Tomlinson or Clark tried to spin around her, but whiffed on it. And then in the corner comes over for Neve Walsh carrying out. Rides one challenge, still with Neve Walsh as he cuts back onside and onto her left hand, but couldn't get the shot on target. And then Diamonds defending well right now. That one's blasted clear. It comes off the stick of Flo Southwood. She'll chase that one into a corner. Nicely done by Eva Reze. Controlled by Southwood again. That's a stretch pass out the zone, but to no one as they're in the middle of a change there. Sofia Cazares sends the puck into a corner. Nice work over on that far side by the Diamonds. Zoe Standish goes with her. Jade Jones also trying to break the play up. It's still with Izzy Oswin though, the strength of it. So hard to shake off a puck. Jess Hacking helping her out. Still the battle continues in that corner. Even at 6-1, still Izzy Oswin is looking for another goal and to make it 7. Do good. Off the boards, it will come loose and gathered by the Greyhounds. They'll look to carry out here with Southwood, who's been their top defender for me. Loves to drive forward, which she's doing now. Rides another challenge up and just forced her wide. It was a rushed centering pass, though. She had 3 options coming through there. If she'd looked up, it just seemed to have too much on it, and it sailed across them at speed. But 3 of them were in a great shooting opportunity. Jay Jones just short of a target, comes back from behind the back of a net over on that far side. It will be controlled by the Greyhounds. Jay Jones now. Sorry, Eva Reze even for the Diamonds. Rides 2 more challenges, gets a shot off on the short side, but again, saved by Cazares, who's played well. A couple of the goals being on breaks, on breakaways. Not much you could do about those. Couldn't really blame her for the goals that have gone in. She's played really well this weekend. Was excellent in their semi-final win yesterday against Whitley Bay. And well, today isn't their day. It's been a bit of a surprise scoreline in many ways. Nothing to take up, not taking anything away from Kingston. I know exactly how strong a side they are, but just given how well Haringey have played over the last 2 years, I was expecting this to be a closer scoreline. It has been competitive, as I said before, but I don't think the scoreline necessarily reflects the balance of the game. Diamonds have just been a lot more clinical and taking their chances, but the surprising one for me last night as well was Invicta getting so easily, well, I wouldn't say easily beaten, that's the wrong phrase, but convincingly beaten by Manchester. It wasn't Invicta's night. They were missing 2 or 3 of their top offensive players, which didn't help, of course. That one is flicked up into the corner. But they've had good seasons in Division 2 this year. Haringey in the Valerie and Invicta in the Elizabeth. 2 sides I don't often get to see all that often, so it's been a pleasure getting to see them this weekend. And both sides earning promotion, so we'll see what they do in their new leagues next year, or new divisions. Oswin being put under pressure by Tegan Walsh, who forces a turnover. Now Clementine Chandler looking to carry up that left wing side. Force wide, centering pass, but it goes into the corner. Nicely controlled by Pomeranz, who cycles back round, cuts across the high slot, and then that one comes off the end boards. Haringey, be good for them to get another goal back inside the final 5 minutes or so. That one's cleared. Eleanor Worth kept inside by the Diamonds and Eva Reze. This will be carried out by Josie Milton, who scored their only goal here today. Still with Milton, nice poke check row by Hacking. Milton digs it out the corner, finds Trodek on the point. That one just into the corner. Pomeranz will gather, works it back to the point. Pomeranz gets it back via the board. Centering pass is picked off by the Diamonds. Reze will look to carry out. Rides the challenge from Josie Milton. Those two tangling up. Milton does a good job of stealing the puck back. Haringey, still some urgency in their play. They want to get maybe a goal or 2 back here. Make the scoreline a little bit more respectable and balanced. Milton again does really well to keep it inside the zone. Through to Pomeranz, who fires, and Johnson couldn't hold on but made an excellent save and then did enough on the follow-up to deny Pomeranz putting that rebound home, and Johnson having an outstanding game. Whenever Haringey have created chances, they've found a formidable opponent between the pipes in Emily Johnson. Face off over on the far side. Worked into the corner. Sonia Bryce off the boards. Melissa Veal will release on the far side. Can't quite see the numbers who that is. That come Haringey. That'll be chased down. It might have been Carla Clark who was battling along the far side before Haringey got the breakout, but an icing call will bring the play back into their zone then. With 2:46 remaining, a 6-1 lead to the Diamonds. They are surely now going to be crowned champions. It's the first playoff win at any level for a Diamond side since 2023 here at Sheffield, when their under-16s were crowned national champions and they beat the Swindon Top Kittens. So it'll be a proud moment for the club and everyone involved, particularly Tim Heeland, who's the head coach of the whole club. And they've worked hard for this. It was a team that perhaps we weren't quite sure how they were going to do, given the voluntary relegation, shall we say. It is a different side slightly to the one that competed in Division 2 last year, but not massively different. Most of the team, I'd say 90% of it, is the same. Yes, they've been able to ice the likes of Melissa Veal, which is a huge benefit for them, as that one is turned aside. But as I say, 90% of the side is the same. They have just come on leaps and bounds, led by the excellent Izzy Oswin and the experience of Carla Clark. And here is Oswin now, working some space onto the backhand. Look at that though, good defending coming in from the Greyhounds, keeping her at full stretch there. That reach was unbelievable. But we weren't sure how this team would react to playing in this league, but they've passed their test and then some. They lost to Whitley Bay early on in the season. They did drop some points, but then as the season went on, they got stronger and stronger as Jay Jones is eased off the puck. Oswin with a chance to counter, and essentially won the league by winning those two final head-to-head matchups with the Beacons. That's what separated the pair of them and who would go on to win the league. They won as close a semi-final as you could wish to have yesterday against the Slough Sirens that went the distance. It went into sudden death 3-on-3 overtime, then to a penalty shootout, and we went to about 9 rounds of the shootout, as the Diamonds may be looking for another attack here inside the final 40 seconds. And now in the final, they're 6-1 to the good with 30 seconds to go. They are going to be crowned Division 2 Valerie playoff champions to cap what's been a fantastic season. They can accept promotion rather, if the league reorganisation is going to happen, that I'm led to believe. So this team could be playing in Division 1 North next season. Tomlinson will clear. That should just about do it. You can hear the countdown in the background. That's the Diamonds fans. A lot of their elite players are there to watch them. And the Diamonds then are Division 2 Valerie playoff champions. They complete the double. They've seen off both Southern sides this weekend. Two strong teams to cap off what's been an excellent season. They've beaten the Beacons twice as well during the regular season. They've faced the 3 toughest sides that they could in recent weeks and won them all. And that is why they have been crowned champions. Congratulations to them all. Sonia Bryce going over to collect her daughter to bring onto the ice, to bring her onto for the celebrations. I don't think anyone could deny they've deserved this one. And after the disappointment of their Div 1 side yesterday losing out to the Swindon Top Cats, Kingston will go home from this weekend with something to smile about. They've ended the weekend in the best possible way with a happy note. And as the handshakes get underway, a time to reflect on who I think could be in contention for player of the game. Well, for the Diamonds, it's probably one of two. Obviously, Izzy Oswin is probably always at the top of my list for player of the game whenever I've watched her in action. She's outstanding. She is the offensive leader on this team, there's no doubt about that. Defensively, I thought they were strong, and in Emily Johnson, she made the really good saves at crucial times in the game and kept her side in it, so it wouldn't surprise me if she might be in contention as well. For the Haringey Greyhounds, I thought Flo Southwood's been excellent all weekend. She was a strong presence on the blue line and was driving forward, trying to get her team going. And obviously Josie Milton got the goal. She was a real spark plug up front, trying to get things to going forward. So if I was pushed, I would say Izzy Oswin for Kingston and Josie Milton for Haringey. Handshakes are over, both sides going onto the blue lines. We will have a bit of a delay, as we always do, before we get the announcements. So do please bear with us, folks. We have the Player of the Game Awards coming up first, then we will have the All-Star announcements for all three positions, goalie, defender and forward, often not in that order. Faye likes to mix it up a little bit, keep it interesting. And then we get the presentations of the caps, the medals and the trophy to the Kingston Diamond. So, as I say, please do bear with us. And once Faye Andrews begins to talk, I shall be quiet and hand you over to her, because I'm pretty sure you can hear her in the background. Yeah, it looks like they've sent up the results of the Player of the Game Awards to Colin, our announcer here. Now, for anyone who watches Phoenix Nights, or did watch it back in the day, it always reminds me of the DJ from that, Ray Vaughan. Sounds very similar to him. Both are from Liverpool, to be fair, so that could be why they have a similar sounding voice.
It goes to number 12, Josie.
Yes, Josie Milton is player of the game for the Haringey Greyhounds, so no real surprise there. Very well deserved. She got their goal, could have had more, was definitely their offensive spark up front. Lois Tomlinson congratulates her, and she's been excellent for the last 3 years in these playoffs.
94, Sonia.
It's got to Sonia Bryce, who was steady at the back, defended well, the ultimate competitor, and you might not like playing against her, but you would love to have her on your team. And that is probably the best compliment you can give a player.
So now we'll hand over to our General Manager of WNIHL, Faye Andrews.
So we head over to Faye Andrews now for the All-Star Awards.
Hello, I know we've been here a long time, so I'll make this quick. This is our All-Star Award for our best players in the tournament across all of our games this weekend. So we'll start with our All-Star Best Forward, which goes to Melissa Veal.
To Melissa Veal. So that's, sorry, I should clarify, that's the forward announcement. I was just checking a notification on my phone, which was why I was a little bit distracted. So yeah, Melissa Veal, very well deserved.
Best defence in the tournament.
For defender.
And that goes to Flo Southwood.
Flo Southwood then for Haringey. Again, no surprise really. She has been outstanding across the weekend, was really strong today. I say if it hadn't the game Player of the Game Award hadn't gone to Josie Milton, it would have gone to Flo, I think. And for the goalie, Emily Johnson. And you can't deny it. I mean, she was outstanding yesterday in that penalty shootout. And then again today, only giving up that one goal, which was a smart finish from a top quality player in Josie Milton. So she has been a quality goalie for a number of years now, and that's just recognition, really, for that. Well deserved.
Congratulations to our All-Stars.
And a special mention, of course, to Sophie Casares, who I'm sure ran her close in the voting.
WNIHL Division 2 Valerie playoff winners. So come forward.
So now we have the presentation of the caps and medals.
Come forward, guys, for the Kingston Diamonds. 85 Melissa Veal, 10 Eva Razine, 24 Caitlin Payton, 20
magenta pink colour for the cap and the purple medal, well, purple lanyard I should say, on the medal. We will stay with these pictures for you to show you them and the trophy presentation before taking a quick break. We will get a nice cut. The Zamboni doors are open, thankfully, so we will be getting a nice cut before the next game gets underway.
The Kingston Diamonds for the WNIHL Division 2.
everyone has got a cap and medal. Lois Tomlinson will step forward and will receive the trophy from League President Faye Andrews.
Ladies and gentlemen, your WNIHL Division 2 Valerie playoff champions for 2025-26 are the Kingston.
So Lois Tomlinson then takes it to her team, and the Kingston Diamonds are the Division 2 Valerie playoff champions. Congratulations to them, their first playoff success of any of the Kingston sides since 2023, when their under-16s team were crowned national champions. Very well done to the Haringey Greyhounds for getting here. We wish them all the best of luck for next season. We'll leave you with these pictures for the next couple of seconds while I sign off, and we'll be back with you in a few moments' time for the final game of the weekend. Please don't go anywhere.